right, today we are diving into something huge happening in the world of finance. We're talking about Ondo Finance and this revolutionary idea of tokenizing real-world assets, or RWA for short. We're going to break down how they're basically putting stocks and ETFs on the blockchain, and then we'll get into the real game changer, a potential spot ETF for their own token. So let's get right into it.
I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you didn't have to wait for the opening bell? What if there was no such thing as after-hours trading? You could buy a piece of Apple or an S&P 500 ETF anytime you want, day or night, weekend or holiday, from anywhere in the world. This isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's the core promise of the technology we're exploring right now.
And at the heart of all this is one simple but powerful idea: RWA. All it really means is taking a traditional asset, like a share of Tesla stock or a US Treasury bond, and creating a digital version, a token, that can live and trade on a blockchain. That's it. And that one concept unlocks everything else we're about to talk about. So here's our game plan. First, we'll see how assets are meeting the blockchain with Ondo Finance. Then we'll look at how this tech actually gets into your hands, or your wallet. After that, we'll unpack the massive news about a potential ETF, why it matters so much, and of course, we'll do a little reality check on the hurdles. Finally, we'll ask the big question: what does this all mean for the future of finance?
Okay, first things first. Let's get to know the main player in the story. So who exactly is Ondo Finance, and what are they trying to build?
Well, simply put, Ondo Finance is a platform dedicated to bringing traditional finance into the 21st century. Their entire mission is to tokenize assets like stocks and US Treasury bonds so they can be traded on the blockchain 24/7. Since their launch, they've really established themselves as one of the leaders in this whole RWA movement, all with the goal of making finance more open and efficient.
So that's the big idea. But how does it actually work for you, the user? How do you get your hands on these tokenized assets? Well, it's actually becoming way simpler than you might think.
And here's a perfect example. Ondo recently integrated with MetaMask, which is, one of the biggest crypto wallets out there. Now, for eligible users, it's as simple as connecting your wallet straight to Ondo's platform, and you can buy tokenized assets using stablecoins like USDC. It's designed to be a really clean, straightforward process. And make no mistake, this isn't some tiny little pilot program. Through a big partnership with blockchain.com, Ondo is now bringing regulated, tokenized US stocks to users across Europe. And that's on top of the work they're already doing in Africa and South America. So from your wallet, you can now get exposure to companies like Tesla and Nvidia, or even commodities like gold, all trading 24/7. Your crypto wallet is literally becoming a gateway to global markets. Now, getting these assets into crypto wallets is obviously a huge step forward for people already in the crypto world. But the next piece of news we're covering, it's aimed at a totally different crowd, and honestly, it might just be an even bigger deal. That's right. As important as all that wallet integration is, you could argue the most groundbreaking development here is for the millions of people who have never touched a crypto wallet and probably never will. And there it is. The investment firm 21 Shares, a huge name in this space, has officially filed with the SEC to create a spot exchange-traded fund, an ETF that tracks the price of Ondo, the platform's native token. This is absolutely massive. Just look at how this thing is structured. It's built from the ground up to appeal to traditional finance. It's a passive fund. Its only job is to track Ondo's price. It uses a cash creation model, which is the exact same familiar structure that got the Bitcoin ETFs approved, making it super easy for big money to flow in. And with a planned listing on the NASDAQ and big-name custodians like Coinbase on board, they're basically sending a huge signal to institutional investors that this is safe and ready for them. Okay, so why is everyone getting so excited about a potential ETF for just one token? Well, it's because this isn't just a product. It's a bridge, a powerful bridge connecting two completely different financial universes. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The old way, you had to know your way around crypto wallets, self-custody, the whole DeFi scene. The new way, if this gets approved, anyone with a normal brokerage account could get exposure to the RWA sector just by buying this ETF, literally as easily as buying a share of any other stock. It completely changes the game. If this ETF gets the green light, it could have three huge effects. One, it throws the doors wide open for institutional capital. We're talking pension funds, asset managers, the big players. Two, all that new money could bring a massive wave of liquidity to the whole RWA market. And three, And this might be the most important part. It serves as a massive validation of the entire idea that tokenizing real-world assets is a serious, legitimate part of finance's future. And the scale of this opportunity is, well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. Some analysts are projecting that the RWA market could swell into the tens of billions of dollars by 2026. An ETF isn't just another investment option. It's a massive on-ramp designed to funnel traditional capital directly into that growth. Okay, now it's easy to get carried away with all the excitement, but we have to stay grounded here. This future isn't a sure thing, and there are some pretty significant hurdles that still need to be cleared. Right, so it really comes down to this balance between the promise and the cold hard reality. The dream of a 24/7 global market runs headfirst into a wall of strict regulatory scrutiny. The idea of access for everyone, everywhere, gets complicated by different rules in different countries, and the vision of pure, frictionless efficiency is still tied to the wild swings and sentiment of the broader crypto market. And here's a super important detail you have to understand. In a lot of these setups, holding the token gives you economic exposure to the asset. That means you make money if the price goes up and lose if it goes down. But it doesn't always give you the same direct legal ownership rights you'd have if you held a traditional stock certificate. It's a subtle but really crucial distinction. So when you take a step back and look at everything we've talked about, what's the big picture? What does this all mean for where finance is headed? When you put all the pieces together, the image becomes pretty clear. You have projects like Ondo building the core infrastructure. You have user-friendly wallets acting as the on-ramps for individuals. And then you have potential products like this ETF designed to be a superhighway for institutional money. The line between traditional finance and DeFi, yeah, it's getting blurrier by the day. Which really just leaves us with one final massive question. For as long as we can remember, finance has been broken up into these separate silos, operating on different clocks with different rules. Could what we're seeing with Ondo and this whole RWA movement be the very first steps towards a single unified financial market? One that's truly global and runs 24/7 for everyone, everywhere? It's a huge thought, and honestly, only time will tell.